What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So we're going to start this one off with an update from Keone Pearson. Keone is currently sitting at 10 weeks out from the Texas Pro, and we're starting to see a completely different Keone Pearson than we have ever seen in the past. As Keone continues to dial in for the Texas Pro, he's maintaining that roundness and fullness, and the X-frame is continuously looking improved as he continues to shred down. And while some struggle to make weight for their respected division, Keone is already under the 212-pound weight cutoff. He's about 210 as of right now, which is absolutely insane to think about because he looks this good being this weight where he already looks unstoppable. To think that Keone still has room to grow in this division, I mean, it almost seems like it's going to be unfair to all the other competitors. Let's just say that Keone shows up in Texas and he's, 200 pounds on stage? That's 12 pounds of stage weight that he can still gain. And I would already consider Keone more of an aesthetic mass monster in the 212 division at his current size and weight. And I think another 10 to 12 pounds of stage weight is not going to blow out his midsection. Keone has been doing a lot of ab work. He trains his abs 6 days a week post-cardio to keep that midsection in check. And that's just going to keep maintaining that balance he has. So I think we're going to see a very dangerous Keone Pearson in about 10 weeks, and this is going to make for a very exciting show. So another 212 athlete we're going to see on stage in just about 6 weeks is John Jewett. And this guy came on my radar when he started hosting the J3 University podcast with Luke Miller. That's over on Fouad Abiad's channel. And this is a guy with a pretty impressive physique and a wealth of knowledge in bodybuilding when it comes to contest prep. So I would say overall, John is looking pretty balanced here. The quads have great sweep. The vastus lateralis has a really low insertion point down by the knee, so the quads sweep really well from the bottom with that development. The detail in the legs is actually really impressive. He has a level of separation in the quads and hamstrings that will definitely stand out when he takes the stage. I think he could use a bit more size to the arms. In the front and rear double bicep, they look like they could use some more meat on them. The bicep peaks are really good though. The midsection looks like it's in check. The glutes still need to dial in, but he's had striated glutes in the past, and for some guys, that's just the last thing to come in, so I'm sure they'll be shredded come show day. We last saw John take the stage at the 2021 Mr. Olympia, where he took 9th place, and for what we're seeing here, I think it's going to be very telling come show day exactly what improvements John has made since his last competition. So, we'll keep our eyes on John Jewett as we approach the Chicago Pro in 6 weeks. Alright, next up, Andrew Jack has officially announced that he will be returning to Camp Psycho Fitness. He'll be returning to train under the watchful eye of Chris Psycho Lewis for the Texas Pro. Now, Andrew is just sitting at about 10 weeks out from Texas, and he says he plans on returning to California in a few weeks. So we're actually going to see a very similar prep that we saw for the Arnold Classic. Andrew spent about 6 weeks going through an absolute gauntlet of a training program with Psycho Lewis leading up to the Arnold, and they must have been happy with the approach and the end result, because we're about to see something very similar here in terms of this timeline. But the difference now is the experience that Psycho Lewis and Andrew have working together. Psycho Lewis now knows how hard he can push Andrew, and Andrew knows what he has to endure when he arrives at Psycho's body shop and that hoodie goes back on for 6 weeks. Now, the biggest criticism surrounding Psycho's training program for Andrew was, 1, the intensity level, and some of the unconventional training methods that Andrew was doing. The sled pulls took a lot of criticism as it's not a typical bodybuilding movement to do for hypertrophy. But you can't deny at the end of the day, what they did worked. Absolutely it did. Andrew may have been arguably a bit flat at the Arnold, maybe that was due to the training program, but Chris Aceto has also now gained experience working with Andrew. So I really think there's nowhere to go but up for this team. I'm sure both Psycho and Chris Aceto have some tweaks in mind, and I think this is a smart move for Andrew to go back and get away from the distractions and relative comforts that he has in Dubai at the B News gym. In Dubai, he's a major celebrity when he walks into that gym. At Camp Psycho, nobody cares about taking pictures with Andrew or asking him any personal or training related questions. At Camp Psycho, it's nothing but putting in the work. So I'm really excited to see another round of Andrew back at Psycho Fitness as Andrew prepares to defend his Texas Pro title. Now, many have Andrew as the clear winner in Texas, but after seeing this guest posing from Hunter Labrada, I think you'll have a lot of people starting to question that position. Hunter did a guest posing at the NPC Salt Lake City Championships, and honestly, Hunter looks like a whole new bodybuilder. Even from the Pittsburgh Pro guest posing, Hunter looks massively improved in terms of his aesthetics. We haven't seen anyone bring in their waistline like this since Rolly Winkler. I mean, Hunter's midsection was his weak point at the 2022 Olympia. And now, with having it improved, his arms actually look bigger, his quads look like they have more sweep. The X-frame on Hunter is becoming more and more comparable to what we're seeing out of the top Olympians out there. The only downside to Hunter's waist coming down is really his glutes are starting to look a little bit out of proportion from the back. They actually look overdeveloped in terms of proportions. But that could look different when he shreds down. But at the end of the day, Hunter has been on a warpath since his 7th place finish at the 2022 Olympia. He was frankly pissed off with himself. He knew that he could do better. So he put the plan together with his coach Ben Chow to bring in the midsection and figure out the peak. And I would say, based on what we're seeing here, between having the revamped training routine, the implementation of whole foods again, the vacuums, and the fasted cardio training, all of it has paid off and really transformed his physique. Now, as for the peak, well, we're going to find out in just under 10 weeks about that, but he does look to be on track here. So, after seeing this guest posing, I'm going to ask you guys again. Do you think Hunter Labrada can defeat Andrew Jack at the Texas Pro? Did you originally think Andrew would win that show hands down? And has your opinion changed on that stance? Let me know below. Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.